Hey, we're the Mavericks, and we want to wish Terrytown a happy 135th anniversary.
Terrytown Music Theater, happy birthday.
Congratulations, Terrytown Music Hall, on being 135 years young.
You know, 135 is the new 40, or at least so I'm told.
Happy birthday, Terrytown Music Hall.
Can you believe that? What an amazing achievement.
135 years, that's even older than me.
The Headless Horseman was probably in the audience at the first show. And I wouldn't mind sitting behind the Headless Horseman. You see the whole show.
This is Steve Earle, and I love Terrytown Music Hall. It's a historic nonprofit theater right up the road from where I live in New York City.
Terrytown Music Hall is one of the staples of the community.
The Terrytown Music Hall is a cultural landmark.
You care about your community and give back in so many ways.
135 years. Happy birthday!
What a fantastic milestone.
The Terrytown Music Hall is the heart of Terrytown.
The Music Hall is an historic treasure in our community.
Happy birthday, Terrytown Music Hall. The best years are still ahead.
I love the Music Hall because it brings so much of our community together.
I have so many great memories of amazing shows.
Couldn't be prouder that we play there on a consistent basis.
I love singing there, and I look forward to being back with you very, very soon.
The Terrytown Music Hall is one of the hottest tickets out there, and it's done so much for us musicians.
And that's because of you, the patrons, who create that magic in that majestic hall we all love to call home for Terrytown Music Hall.
What kind of nutter wouldn't love playing the music hall? Not this kind of nutter, I can assure you.
And nothing gives me more pleasure than to watch a new generation of kids get to experience the music hall and discover the magic that comes from being up on that incredible stage.
The Village of Terrytown would like to congratulate the music hall on its 135th anniversary.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of the Terrytowns, we wish a happy 135th birthday to the Terrytown Music Hall and many more.
I'd like to wish the historic Terrytown Music Hall a very happy 135th birthday.
Happy birthday, Terrytown Music Hall!
135th birthday. Who could say that?
First time I did a show for them, they picked me up in a horse and buggy.
Support the Terrytown Music Hall today.
And we look forward to ushering you back in 2021, so come to the music hall.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, we love you.
Happy 135th anniversary. That's awesome.
This is Rob Ferboni wishing the Terrytown Music Hall a happy 135th.
Here's to another 135 years.
Hopefully we'll celebrate your 136th in person.
Hey, Terrytown Music Hall, happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Hi, Bjorn Olsson. I'm the Executive Director of the Terrytown Music Hall. Welcome to another of our popular live stream concerts, which we started back in March when we had to shut down to sort of keep the lights on and to introduce you to new and emerging talent, as well as reconnecting with some old familiar faces. The Music Hall is a non-profit organization, and if there was ever a time that you would consider supporting us with a donation or to join us as a member, now is it. If you can be there for us now, we will be here for you for years to come. Thank you. And now please enjoy tonight's live stream concert.
Good evening, Terrytown Music Hall fans, and welcome to tonight's virtual broadcast of a very talented Walter Parks. Besides being a talented guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter, anybody asked by the Library of Congress to archive some of their material there needs little more of an introduction. I would like to also have a shout out to Bjorn Olsson, Executive Director of the Music Hall, and his talented staff for their dedicated work during these extremely difficult times. And of course, a big shout out to all of you music fans for being here to support this fabulous venue. Be safe, enjoy tonight. I'm Jonathan Ash.
sun goes back and the first quail calls, follow the drinking gourd. Well, the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom, follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Well, the riverbed makes a mighty fine road. Dead trees will show you the way. Use the left foot, back foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Well, the riverbed is between two hills, dancing the drinking gourd. Now there's another river on the other side. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. There's an old man who's waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Good evening, everyone. I'm Walter Parks coming to you. I wanted to be in Tarrytown on this broadcast, but the COVID kind of ramped up, so I'm staying put here at my home in St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome to my home, and I was very honored to be asked by the Tarrytown Music Hall to do a concert, and I feel particularly akin to that Performing Arts Center because I used to live down the street from it. Right over the line in a little town called Sleepy Hollow, which at that point was called North Tarrytown. And so I got to see so many concerts in that music hall, and I played there a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times. And it was one of those wondrous halls from the late 1800s, and there aren't many of those in the United States left. It's been through many different phases of renovation and that sort of thing, and so we're here to help. And I'm going to encourage you throughout the broadcast to donate to the Tarrytown Music Hall if at all possible. Of course, for the music hall itself, but also for just performing arts centers in general during the time of the COVID. That was one called Follow the Drinking Gourd, and I started with that because I want to make this show, for the most part, a dedication to Richie Havens. This broadcast is happening on the week of Richie Havens' birthday. Would that he were still alive. He would be 80 years old. And I played with Richie for the last 10 years of his career. I think we played at the Tarrytown Music Hall once. And I was his last sideman guitarist, and it was such a great run. I mean, I played with him for the final 10 years of his life, all over the United States, Canada, Europe. We even went to Australia and did some festivals, and it was a wonderful part of my life. He kind of took me on as he seemed to be a mentor, and he was half mentor, half sort of a boss, but that wasn't really Richie's feel. He was more like a father to me. Richie said, "I've got this new song that I want to show you. It's a Sinead O'Connor song," and he sang it to me over the phone best he could, and it had a wonderful, sad but beautiful lilt to it. We ended up playing the song and recording it on one of his albums, one of his last 3 albums that I was played on. So I feel like doing it tonight. It's a beautiful song, and it's called One More Day. I'm falling here. angel weeps, I hear him cry, our lonely prayer, our voice so high, dry all your tears, come what may, and in the end the sun will rise on one more day. Please send me, don't you see me falling? I am lost and alone. All in your wings, I hear him cry, our lonely prayer, our voice on high, dry all your tears, come what may, and in the end the sun will rise on one more day. Sometimes I can barely get through that one. It just, shakes me up. I hope you enjoyed it. That was one by Sinead O'Connor called One More Day that Richie Havens recorded on one of his later albums, possibly his very last one, called Nobody Left a Crown. I think that was it. Also had a group in the acoustic world called The Nudes with Stephanie Winters. Stephanie was a cellist. I played guitar for about 8 years in that group, and we played Falcon Ridge Folk Festival and music halls like Tarrytown all over the place. And when my time with Richie ended and my time with the Nudes stopped, I said to myself, well, what am I gonna do here? And I kind of leaned back on my roots. I came from Jacksonville, Florida. That's northern Florida. And I remember camping out in the Okefenokee Swamp and seeing vestiges in the woods of old time-worn concrete foundations and railroad tracks that sort of threaded amongst the palmetto bushes and so on. I'm like, what the heck is this? There's railroad tracks out here in the middle on the islands in the swamp. There must have been a lot of people out here at one point. Sure enough, I did a little research in the Library of Congress and found a small trove of music that had been made out there. And one thing led to the other. I wrote all this music out, or a lot of it. There were three types of music made out there, mostly by white settlers between the mid-1800s and the mid-1900s. There were sacred harp singing, which was religious in nature, of course, which is shape note singing, that kind of thing. There was Appalachian-style music, fiddle music and banjo music, and there was also hollers. Hollers was really not considered by the swampers, or as they proudly call themselves, the cracker folk. Cracker has a different meaning these days, but they they were mostly Scottish people, and cracker in that sense meant boasters. If you cracked a joke, that kind of thing. And believe me, that's where that came from. But it was the kind of thing, hollers, that people used to communicate. They would be out in the woods and having come home from a hunt after 3 nights out in the middle of nowhere, and they wanted to signal that their family that they were okay. And so when you came upon a house with no notice, that was a dangerous situation for the people in the house or possibly for you. So you had to have some way of announcing yourself when you had been gone for a couple of days. And they did this with hollers. And I found when I started writing these hollers out, I found them to be, when I first sang them, I found them to be operatic in nature. They have these hollering contests in North Carolina and that sort of thing, and they kind of make them sound what they are. They're very Appalachian in nature, but the way I interpreted them was almost, maybe it's because I studied Italian arias and so on. I kind of put in Southern European twist to them and turned them into something that needed to be in the Milan Opera House or something. But regardless, and then when I played them on guitar, they sounded like Duane Allman's guitar solos. So, and there's no secret to that because there's no surprise to that because this was Southeast Georgia music, and the Allman Brothers came from that neck of the woods. Anyway, I'm gonna demonstrate a song that was recorded on machinery borrowed from the Library of Congress in 1945. The Library of Congress honored me this past summer with a website program or a film program that they in which they covered my research on the swamp music. So this is one called Ain't Nobody's Business But Mine, and I'll tell you a little bit about it after I play this one. It starts with a holler and intertwines that with what they call the old-fashioned songs.
Well, I'm going nowhere, Jack. Got an angel on my back, and it ain't nobody's business but mine. Well, I'm going to my death. No one's on my path. Well, it ain't nobody's business but mine. going nowhere, Jack. Got a banjo on my back, and it ain't nobody's business but mine. No, it ain't nobody's business but mine. No, it ain't nobody's business but mine.
That's another one that gives me the chills. Like I said earlier, I leaned back into my roots coming from Northeast Florida, and I started digging into the music that made me, that reminded me of home. It was the soundtrack to the places and the way that I grew up. And believe me, these hollers, these swamp hollers, sound like the palmetto bushes. They sound like the islands in the Okefenokee Swamp. And I really hope y'all can just do a little search on Library of Congress and my name, and you'll see some of the films that I made out there in the swamp and some of the music I put with it. I'm very, very proud of that project, and it's ongoing. There's some music that I haven't charted out and I haven't performed yet. So it's a small trove of music, but I'm still onto it. And so I'm gonna pick up my other guitar here and play some stuff that kind of reminds me of the banjo a little bit. Oh, I gotta tell you, this before I put this guitar away, I want to say that I brought this one out for this kind of Richie Havens special tribute that I'm doing here. And this was Richie's old guitar from 1967. So this predates Woodstock. He probably used it on his Mixed Bag album. Don't really know. I wasn't with him at that point. But I'm so proud to have this guitar, and more to that later. If any of y'all knew my group or was a follower of my group, The Nudes, this is the guitar that I used during all my time with Stephanie Winters. It kind of looks like a classical guitar, but it's not. It's a steel string guitar, and I bought it because it had a classical vibe and a feel, and the neck is really wide, and no little markings on the fretboard, and I've held on to it. Richie preferred me playing this guitar to all the other guitars that I had, and I so much loved playing electric with Richie, but he liked this one. And this is one that I wrote down in the Northeast Florida marsh area. I wrote it on an old 1929 banjo, and it's called Sugar House.
says she never leaves her neighborhood, but she's dressing like she's going to Hollywood. Oh yeah, I'm not talking about Hollywood, Florida. Yeah, you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. All right. I got suspicious by the smell of her hair. Her little spice in the winter. Oh yeah. I guess I should say oh no. Yeah, you shake it all night, keep the lid down tight. All right. Take you to New Orleans. Saints alive, Apalachicola, getting out of Kakalaki. Going back to New Orleans. La, 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 la. Just like that mason jar in grandma's house. If you wanna keep your jelly fresh, you gotta keep the fungus out. Yeah, you shake it all night, keep the lid down tight. All right. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight. All right. If you shake it all night, keep the lid on tight.
One called The Lid. That's so I did Sugar House and The Lid. Those are both Swamp Cabbage tunes, and that's kind of, you know, that's, you want to know about me. That's it. I've got that kind of swampy thing running through whatever I do. It doesn't matter if I play a cover song or I do my own music. It just kind of comes out. And when I first moved to New York, I spent most of my adult life in the New York area, and I kind of didn't want anybody to know where I came from. You know, I thought I had this kind of European thing in my playing style, and that's what I wanted to show the world. And you know, you have an idea of what you want to present, and then there's the way people perceive you. And so many people kept noticing this kind of just nasty vibe in my music groove and so on. And I just, at a certain point, the light went off as I came all the way from Florida to New York to do my own thing, and maybe that is my own thing. So I hope you're enjoying it. It's Walter Parks Picture this. I was inspired to do this song because I got invited to sing with an AME church in Charleston, South Carolina, pretty shortly after that disaster that happened there a couple of years back. And it was in much the same way that I'm paying tribute to Richie Havens tonight. I felt like I had a responsibility to uphold in singing with that choir. Behind me were 60 singers. To my right was a Hammond B3 organ player. To my left was a piano player. And they started doing their version of this song. And then I heard it in a similar way, done in a similar way by the Blind Boys of Alabama. And I took it upon myself to translate that piano and that organ into a version that the guitar could manifest. And so this was so much fun to work out. And we've got it on our new record coming out on Atomic Sound Records or Atomic Recordings, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it was done at Atomic Sound in Brooklyn. And this is from the Unlawful Assembly record. So let me get tuned up here.
Stood on the way. Blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. In my God's Bible, the word proclaimed, healing the sick and the crippled and lame. He gave to the poor and the needy bread. He healed the sick and he raised the dead. The timid men came from Galilee. He looked at a man who could not see. The man was blind and crippled from birth. The timid man's name was blind of birth. So said, oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. When Barnabas heard that the Lord was nigh, he fell to his knees and began to cry. He said, sweet Jesus from Galilee, can't you have a little mercy on me? He said, oh Lord, son of David, oh Lord, Mary's baby, oh Lord, be the healing hand. I'm a blind man, oh Lord, son of David, oh Lord, Mary's baby, oh Lord, be the healing hand. I'm a blind man. Well, my Lord stopped and he turned around. He saw Barnabas on the ground. He touched his head with the palm of his hand. Barnabas saw like a natural blind man said, oh Lord, son of David, oh Lord, Mary's baby, oh Lord, be the healing hand of a blind man, oh Lord, son of David, oh Lord, Mary's baby, oh Lord, be the healing hand of a blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Oh, blind Barnabas stood on the way. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me. Woo! Old Blind Barnabas, that's going to be on my next record with my good friends in the Unlawful Assembly. That's Stephen Williams on drums, Ada Dyer on vocals, and she tears it up. I can't wait to share this music with you. This song is called Georgia Rice, and it's based on a true, I don't know if it's a true story, it's a folk tale. There were, during the 1700s, there were rice plantations down in southeast Georgia. Many people think of cotton, but along southeast Georgia between Savannah and Jacksonville, Florida, it was all rice plantations. And every now and then a slave would escape from the plantations and they would head towards the swamp, which is west. In a sense, the Underground Railroad, it was not really called or thought of as such, but the pathway to freedom at that point was south and not north, as it would later be. And that was because for two times in this country's history, Florida was Spanish. And if a slave could just make his or her way across the St. Mary's River, they could ostensibly find freedom if they were willing to convert to Catholicism and serve in the Spanish army. They would find their way to St. Augustine, Florida, just north of it, to a place called Fort Mose. And that was an enclave of escaped slaves from Georgia and southern Alabama. And anyway, so this is a song that I wrote, and it starts with a holler, an actual holler that came from the Okefenokee Swamp. And it tells the story of one such, it is my imagined story of a slave being forced into the swamp where passage across the St. Mary's was much easier because it's narrow there. And he hears in the woods this white man hollering, and he thinks to himself, geez, I'm going to go towards this guy because I know he's not looking for me if he's out there hollering. I'll say one more thing. This is sung from the perspective of the slave, and it starts with the holler. you holler from a mile away. I thought he ain't a party to the search, and I prayed. A hound dog tracking back the road to peace. They like to drown me smack into the Okefenokee. There's a damn good bounty when a slave break free. But you're gonna catch hell if you shelter me. I'm out looking for the Sainte Marie. I'm gonna wade in her water, she'll set me free. So I take my chance with the poison snake. 'Cause the master won't hang the good money I can make. You cross the line of what a man can take. Turn a man from a chattel and you clean him up nice. Hit him straight to battle from the Georgia rice. Don't you wonder what I come up from under? Don't know how, but it's all the same. I gotta take my bow to the Queen of Spain. Don't you wonder what I come up from under? Folks can't figure why a man of God would risk his deed of granted sod for a slave out looking for the Sainte Marie. He aimed a wade in her water, she'll set him free. Across the line of what a man can be. Turn a man from a chattel and you clean him up nice. Hit him straight to battle from the Georgia rice. Don't you wonder what I come up from under? Don't know how, but it's all the same. I gotta take my bow to the Queen of Spain. Don't you wonder what I come up from under? What I come up from under? Damn good bounty with a slave break free. You're gonna catch hell if you shelter me. I'm gonna cross the line of what a man can be. You might catch hell, but they won't catch me.
We do some songs that Richie Havens used to sing. And Richie pulled from the spirituals. I mean, it's think about freedom. Freedom was. It occurred to me the other day that, Richie was. I think part of the reason why the whole Woodstock thing happened. I think this is something that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. It. Richie was, outside of being enormously talented, magically talented, he was a real professional. He was always to every gig, just hours early, just sometimes 4 hours arriving at the hall, just to kind of get the vibe of the place and practice. And we did a lot of rehearsing before we played. And so he was always punctual punctual, and he was always, another aspect about Richie is that he was always willing. You know, Richie was like, he didn't want to let people down. I mean, he was just a can-do guy. Yep, just if it was presented to him that he could make somebody else's life a little easier, he would say yes to it. And I saw him do that time and time again, daily. And I could just, it just made sense that he was one of the only, if not the only performer at Woodstock. Everybody else caught in a traffic jam. Richie was there earlier, and he was willing to go on. And he went on first, and, you know, he played his set, and they wanted him to keep playing a couple of times. He's like, look, I'm out of songs. And they, the promoter said to him, I got to have one more. You know, the next performer's almost here. You got to stretch it. And Richie went back out and played Freedom, and he dug into the spirituals, A Motherless Child, to get him through that song. And it's just, it was a wonderful time for me being his sideman, because I at the end of the day, Richie just helped me whittle it all down with what was really important in music, is that you honor the song and you honor the person that, in my case, I was playing for, which was him. If my thoughts got lost in playing in Madison Square Garden or Carnegie Hall or something like that, I would just reel myself back to the purpose of what I was meant to be there for, which is to support him. And just put it this way, the lessons that I've learned with him, that I learned with him over the years, have just translated into every other gig that I've had. And especially with taking other people's music and interpreting it my own. Richie was never one to analyze a Beatles tune or a Bob Dylan tune and say, what are the chords that those guys are doing? Let me make sure I play exactly what they're doing. He just did his own thing with it. And in many cases, I think did the best versions of those songs. So I'm going to end with a Richie Havens song. And I mentioned Mixed Bag earlier, and it was Richie's first record. Came out in '67, the year that this guitar was made, and this is probably something he wrote some of those tunes on, or maybe even recorded the record with it. I'm not sure, but it's been around that long. And this is a little shortened version of Richie's first hit, if you will. It meant a lot to a lot of people. It was a song by Jerry Merrick, who passed away recently down in Florida. And this is a song of Richie's, or a song that Richie performed and got known for, called Follow. My name is Walter Parks, and I really appreciate you listening tonight. We've been, in addition to honoring Richie Havens, we're grateful to the Tarrytown Music Hall, because it's a performing arts center, and it's also an opportunity. It's an opportunity for y'all to enrich better your life, better your day, better your month, your year, just when you come out and you see a concert. Sponsor them, help them, give a donation to them. There's many ways to do that, and I hope to see you on the road. My name is Walter Parks, and I've got a website, walterparks.com, I guess it is. And y'all know all the other ways of staying in touch, and I hope you do. I have a spiritual music show called Hymns and Hollers I do every Sunday morning, and you can find me on Facebook or YouTube, and just tune into the website. Thank you.
Let the river rock you like a cradle. Climb to the treetops, child, if you're able. Let your hands tie a knot across the table. Come and touch the things you cannot feel. And close your fingertips and fly where I can't hold you. Let the sun rain fall and let the dewy clouds enfold you. Maybe you can sing to me the words that I've told you. If all the things you feel ain't what they seem, then don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream. Mockingbird sings each different song. Each song has wings that won't stay long. Do those who hear think he's doing wrong? While the church bell shows its one-note song, and the school bell jingles to the throng. Come here where your ears they can't hear. Close your eyes, child, and listen to what I tell you. Follow in the darkest night the sounds that may impel you. The song that I am singing may disturb or serve to quell you. If all the songs you hear ain't what they sing, oh, don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream that you can follow, that you can follow, follow. That you can follow, that you can follow, that you can follow, that you can follow, that you can follow.